Well, in Washington, I'll have the headlines at the top of the hour. Now, Business Unusual.
Business Unusual is brought to you by Arthur Anderson.
Ahead on Business Unusual, supplying the superheroes of a wired age. Turning a trade school into a high-tech haven. For a few lucky entrepreneurs, the first Tuesday of any month can bring them millions. And reading, writing, and arithmetic, all in the palms of these students' hands. That's all ahead on Business Unusual. Welcome to Business Unusual. I'm Rhonda Schaffler. The city, Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a big town. Computers going down every minute. Robert Stevens works there. He carries a badge that says Geek Squad. Lauren Terry tells us the story of who you're going to call when the bites leave teeth marks.
Somewhere in Minneapolis, a computer is going to crash. A payroll program will melt down. Ordinary citizens will spill coffee on their keyboards. In another part of town, a year's worth of data will suddenly be missing. It's just another day for the Geek Squad.
Go ahead.
Our goal is complete global domination of the computer support services market and enslavement of the human race. And how we're going to do that is it's computer support all the way to the window.
31-year-old founder Robert Stevens does not call himself CEO, but rather Chief Inspector. His staff is mostly comprised of special agents. The Geek Squad client list ranges from the Rolling Stones to the FBI. Stevens' mission, he says, nothing less than stopping technology from overthrowing mankind.
Anytime you use your computer, there's 20 or 30 companies, products that are trying to work in concert. And if any one of them don't work, and you call the tech support, they will tell you to call the other, oh, it must be the other company's problem. So we're the one company that handles it all. Kind of like the plumbers of the industry. And they take them in, they strip them down, and sell them as
Stevens passed up think tank work, the Y2K circuit, software writing, to form his own upstart gang of dorky computer repairmen. It's the unglamorous, high-volume end of the computer business. But with 18,000 clients, Stevens is not complaining.
Computer repair is kind of like fast food. It's highly transactional. We've done over 30,000 service calls. There's safety in numbers there for us. It allows us to focus on one area and be very, very good at it. And we have almost no competition in this area.
In 1995, with $200, Stevens dropped out of the University of Minnesota to open up shop in the Twin Cities.
Started the company while I was in college and fixing TVs, VCRs, dryers to make extra money, and computers. And over time, that grew into more and more computers. In the service industry, there's not a lot of overhead, so I could ride my bike around town and fix computers. And over time, as I saved up enough money, I bought my first Geek Mobile, I hired my first employee, and I've been growing it like that ever since. They're in charge of being off.
The Geek Squad is as much performance art as it is computer repair. The uniform includes clip-on tie and flashy white socks. The Geek Mobiles are custom retro, and the squad has, well, style.
We actually borrow our fashion sense from the federal government, and also as a model of efficiency and teamwork. NASA is a very big influence on us. The pseudo-military industrial complex that we've created, the Geek Squad, is a hybrid of Dragnet and Ghostbusters, and that is to allow them to get into character. We're very strict about the work that we do. They have to think strict. So by using these law enforcement military themes, it allows them to be a little bit rougher edged, even if their personality is not like that, and it helps them do better work.
They come in with a problem, they're desperate, their computers are broken, they've lost their data, and I'm their hero when it's done. So I feel good about that.
It's almost like a game, a big video game. Somebody upset, fixing their problem, and then it's over with. That's probably the biggest kick.
We elevate the geek to heroic status.
Yes, I sleep better at night knowing they're out there and they can come to our rescue.
Everyone wants to be cool and they want to be in a job that they're challenged. So there are a few things more important than money, and one of them is identity, and they get that working here.
Unlike their Silicon Valley brethren, these geeks will not be overnight tycoons.
Whoever can hack into our database gets $100.
Revenues will reach $3 million in the year 2000, and Stevens says the company is growing at a rate of 40% a year.
I dare any of you weenies to try and get in there and get to my data.
With an average base salary of $40,000, it's not the money that keeps Stevens's 50 special agents on the job.
Super Bowl Sunday, you won't find these people sitting at home watching football. They have server parties. They bring their computers over to one guy's house and they plug them all in and they try and make computers crash. They're self-motivating. We don't have some corny corporate movement to try and get them to take training and stuff like that. They do it on their own, and that is a very important part of this organic growth within the company.
And don't forget the interesting people the agents meet along the way.
KISS referred us to Ozzy Osbourne. A lot of the same people work on different tours. Now, Ozzy himself, I don't think uses a computer, but everyone else around him does. A lot of his production people. So whenever they come in town now, even anyone on the tour, they buy a laptop, they ship it to us first, we work on it, and then forward it to their next city. Everyone eventually will use our service. Either it's time or it's money. You either spend too much money on someone else and you're looking to get the problem controlled, or there's a time element where you need rapid response. And so that's our specialty. We're just sitting around waiting for the call.
For Business Unusual, I'm Lauren Terry, CNN Financial News.
Coming up, revving the motor of an old-fashioned trade school, an unlikely twosome is taking DeVry off matchbook covers and into the 21st century.
When a society starts to value philosophy way above plumbing, it's in big trouble. Neither its pipes nor its theories will hold water.
Arthur Anderson presents The Players. Ellen Hancock's mission for Exodus Communications is to change the way the internet looks and feels. Since joining the company in 1998, Hancock gave the company focus, making Exodus the market leader in web hosting. It also provides managed internet service to companies wanting to get on the net quickly while ensuring stability. Exodus allows Fortune 1000 companies to use the power of the internet by providing security and control in deploying mission-critical internet applications such as email and Salesforce automation. Through its internet data center facilities, Exodus leverages emerging technologies to help companies extend their business to the web. We sat down with Hancock at New York's Pierre Hotel to discuss the nuts and bolts of web hosting.
The positive aspect about the Exodus business is that many of the changes we're all talking about are, in fact, demand accelerators and complementary to our business. So, for example, we're focused on what's happening in the telco space, or the access space, if you like. And so as more and more customers get ISDN or DSL or cable into their homes, more of them are going to want to go onto these websites, do streaming media, and that just plays to our demand curve. Then you talk about customers who want to do wireless. So we're watching those wireless protocols, understanding how that would affect our business. Again, that's just one more demand into our services. We're working with the lead networking players, whether it's a Cisco or Foundry, or it's a Cashflow, or it's an Altian, or it's an Inktomi. We're working with all of them to know exactly where they're heading to make sure that we're on that curve.
The Players, brought to you by Arthur Anderson.
Ron Taylor is a Harley-riding financial conservative. Dennis Keller is a mountain-climbing dreamer. This dynamic duo is the brains behind the curriculum that's making DeVry the technology school of the new economy. Laura Rowley reports.
Ron Taylor trusts the thunder of a Harley to move him forward. Dennis Keller prefers his feet. But the leaders of DeVry, the technology school, are definitely moving forward, educating the workers who fix the wires in a wired economy and racking up consistent profits for investors. The two have taken a school that once advertised on the inside of matchbook covers and made it a talent factory for the new economy. Keller and Taylor have been partners for 3 decades. They say they couldn't be more different.
Tall, he's from Princeton. I'm short, I'm from Harvard.
He is conservative. He's a little like my father in that way. My father always thought I was just a wild-eyed guy who would go out and spend his last nickel on a great dinner in New York.
After 30 years, I do try to watch out for the two of us to make sure we're on the right path. For Dennis, every path is the right path.
The dreamer and the doer, Keller and Taylor have put their school squarely in the path of a changing economy. A recent survey sponsored by DeVry and 10 other companies found 750,000 information technology jobs will go unfilled this year due to lack of skilled workers. DeVry is filling that labor pool, offering degrees in fields such as computer systems, information technology, and electronics engineering. Founder Herman DeVry invented the first portable motion picture projector in his basement in 1913. In 1931, he started a training school with Lee DeForest, inventor of the Audion tube, which led to the development of television. DeVry trained workers in the new fields of radio, motion pictures, and electronics, including servicemen in World War II. In 1967, the DeVry family sold the school to Bell & Howell, where Keller and Taylor started their careers. They left in 1973 to form their own education company, the Keller Graduate School of Management.
We started with 7 students, one of whom was our secretary, so it was not 7 paying students.
In 1987, they bought DeVry from their former employer and took the enterprise public in 1991. DeVry now serves 80,000 students in undergraduate and graduate programs and training courses and offers 3 bachelor degrees online. DeVry offers no marching band, no football team, no leafy quad. DeVry campuses operate from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week, 12 months a year. Students can finish their bachelor's in 3 years for less than $40,000.
I'm only 17 right now, so I'll be graduating before I'm 21, and then by then I have like more experience. I could be earning a lot more money than I would be in university, and then get a big head start in my life.
But the emphasis on laboratory work isn't for everyone.
I really don't understand some of the professors' methods of teaching. Pretty much like, here's a computer, here's a book, teach yourself.
What it lacks in sex appeal, DeVry makes up for in profits. DeVry has increased earnings per share by 20% every year for nearly a decade, a track record achieved by just a handful of companies in the S&P 500. The stock recently hit an all-time high.
I had an impression that it was a very low-skilled kind of place where kids that, either going to go to McDonald's or go maybe take a couple college courses would go to a DeVry. Ignore what you thought DeVry was, because DeVry probably is not the school you really think it is. It's a great company and a great school.
DeVry focuses on results. The company says 93% of its grads find jobs in their chosen fields within 6 months of graduation. Starting salaries run from $30,000 to $40,000. Companies such as Intel, Cisco Systems, and Motorola advise DeVry on its curriculum.
In a way, our business is a very simple one. We ask employers what it is they want in their new employees. We then take our students and educate them in those skills and abilities, and then we go back to the employers and say, here's what you asked for, will you employ them?
But Keller bristles at the notion that DeVry is a trade school.
People think of trades as low-level things and professions as high-level things, and John Gardner warned against that once. He said, when a society starts to value philosophy way above plumbing, it's in big trouble. Neither its pipes nor its theories will hold water.
For Business Unusual, Laura Rowley, CNN Financial News, Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois.
Ahead on Business Unusual, why is the student body of this high school equipped with Palm Pilots? We'll tell you why when we come back.
When we started experimenting with Palm Pilots and we saw what their capabilities were, we thought, wow, maybe this is how we can really get a lot of technology in the hands of a lot of students and really make it cost-effective.
Back to the players.
There's a real influence by females on boards. And if you track the Catalyst ratings, you'll see more and more companies are bringing females onto the boards. 1 female, 2, 3. And in the case of Aetna, 4 of us on the Aetna board. That influences, in some subtle ways or unsubtle ways, the discussion of diversity. And I mean diversity in female as well as in diversity in minorities. And I think it's a good practice. On top of that, I have to say I was very influenced by the IBM practice. It was a very formal mentoring procedure. I was assigned people to mentor, which I did. I was asked once a year to come in and explain to the chairman how I was handling diversity, how I was handling leadership, how I was handling succession, and what we were doing from a career path for the women in the company. Relative to women, I tell them a couple things, and I do often get asked to talk about the glass ceiling. And one I say is, look, you don't have enough time in your life to change a whole company. Life is too short for that. So if you think your company is not supportive of women, if you can't find women in leadership positions, if you cannot find them on the board, and you think you're having a problem with your manager, there's another job down the street. And particularly in Silicon Valley, there are lots of jobs down the street. Just go. It's much easier to do. Second, be careful about your career path. There are a lot of women who have been promoted into great-sounding titles, but dead-end jobs. And women do need line experience, and by that I mean running a P&L, running a manufacturing plant, delivering products to the market, running a services business. Women should know that if they want to get to a CEO level or a high executive level, they probably need some amount of line experience.
The Players, brought to you by Arthur Andersen.
The Palm Pilot is best known for helping business executives stay on schedule. Now, Palm is helping educators make technology more affordable for high school students. Cece Rogers has more.
Armed with Palm Pilot electronic organizers, these students in suburban Chicago are on the cutting edge.
If I turn this Palm on, what it's doing right now is recording the pH of the solution, of the storage solution that's in.
Analyzing how many fat grams they consumed at lunch.
Taco salad, do we have that in here?
And beaming homework assignments into their teachers' Palm Pilots.
They're real convenient because it helps you with your homework.
In all, Illinois School District 230 has deployed 3,000 Palm Pilots in its 3 high schools. With the number of students outstripping desktop computers by about 6 to 1, the school district was looking for a way to close the gap.
When we started experimenting with Palm Pilots and we saw what their capabilities were, we thought, wow, maybe this is how we can really get a lot of technology in the hands of a lot of students and really make it cost effective.
Students pay $225 each to buy a Palm Pilot, or they can rent one for $75 for the year. Those who cannot afford either option can use Palm Pilots kept in each classroom. Parents may be skeptical.
I know technology is going that way, but I don't know, we've done so long without them.
But for the most part, students like using the devices.
It's kind of getting us used to like future technology and getting used to having something that we're going to be using for probably the rest of our lives.
That's music to the ears of Palm, which began its marketing push with educators only after going public this spring. And the guy in charge of Palm's efforts just came from Apple Computer, the top supplier to U.S. schools.
When you add teachers in both higher education and K-12 and the student population, it provides for a large market opportunity for handheld technology. Very similar to what we see in the mobile professional market, which totals between 80 and 90 million people nationwide.
But whether Palm Pilots gain widespread acceptance in education circles remains to be seen.
At this moment in time, the Palm Pilot doesn't give students or teachers the real equipment they need to expand a student's learning skills.
And that's the challenge at Palm, to elevate its handhelds to more than just fun gadgets for students. Cece Rogers, CNN Financial News, Chicago.
Coming up, entrepreneurs get a once-in-a-lifetime chance to pitch ideas for millions. That's ahead on Business Unusual.
We've had people come in here literally with business plans in their briefcases or in their knapsacks. People here are trying to get ahead in internet businesses.
More with The Players.
I think you have to take risks. I think that you can be too risky, and I've seen managers that I think risk the company by making announcements, for example, that had no buy-in from anyone other than the person making the announcement. You do have to have the ability to take that risk, decide when you need to decide, not hold up and waiting for all the answers, and knowing how long you have to make that decision. And right now, I would say these decisions are very short-lived, and that you have to make them quickly, get people on that path, and you have to stick to that decision. I mean, people have to understand that there's real value to that decision unless there's new news. But without new news, you've made the decision, you're not going to rehash it at the next meeting, and you've got to go on or you're going to have lost that time.
The Players, brought to you by Arthur Anderson.
Watch CNN's Business Weekend, a presentation of CNN-FN, the financial news network of CNN, minding your business 7 days a week.
Take some people with millions of dollars in their pockets and throw them together with hungry geniuses hawking far-out ideas. The result? It's called First Tuesday. And at a time when the bottom has fallen out of the dot-com market, these monthly networking events are bigger than ever. Valerie Morris has the story.
They come in droves, and they're hungry, not for food, for relationships. But it's not love that's brought this group together. It's money, it's ideas, contacts, and leads. This is a First Tuesday event where entrepreneurs designated by green dots and venture capitalists wearing red dots come together for one evening. The entrepreneurs are ready to pitch.
As we were coached, it actually takes about 20 seconds to say.
Okay, go.
We're a learning network for internet business professionals and enterprise learning services for corporations. Every business professional needs new economy skills. Industry's going to $11.5 billion over the next 3 years. We've been in business for about a year and a half. Got 25 enterprise clients, got over 10,000 members, 26% in the internet banking and finance industry, and we've got great business plan to execute.
Sorry, John Allen, that was 23 seconds. No worry. He'll deliver that speech at least 10 more times tonight. We'll check back with him and see how he made out. Since First Tuesday's inception 2 years ago, more than $150 million have been raised as a direct result of entrepreneurs meeting and pitching VCs at First Tuesday events. First Tuesday doesn't make any money off these so-called classic get-togethers. But there are also tailored events where First Tuesday will gather entrepreneurs in a specific industry and match them with VCs that invest in that industry. VCs and entrepreneurs sign contracts that make sure First Tuesday profits from any future deals.
We have what's called, we call it our dance card approach, where we say, Mr. Entrepreneur, you will be meeting 7 or 8 VCs this evening. Have you had any discussions with them before? Are you familiar with them? If you make a match at our specific matchmaking event, then we will take a 2% fee.
David Jacobson is a lawyer, and he can smell a networking opportunity an ocean away. After attending a First Tuesday event in London, he licensed the name and brought it to the States.
We've managed to put ourselves as a law firm in the center of the internet economy. And that right now is a very good place to be. That we are aware of the deals that are getting done. We're aware of who's financing those deals.
Lawyers, accountants, consultants, all the others who attend are designated with yellow dots. It's one-stop shopping for the hungry entrepreneur.
We're looking for a buzz, a certain excitement in the room. People, you want to see people engaging one another, exchanging business cards. We've had people come in here literally with business plans in their briefcases or in their knapsacks. People here are trying to get ahead in internet businesses.
Indeed they are. In fact, given the less than favorable internet economy of late, First Tuesday has not seen any decrease in attendance. Every month, 25,000 people attend First Tuesday events in 100 cities around the world. Its website boasts success stories. There's Hamburg-based MobileView, a wireless application service provider that raised $2.3 million 6 weeks after attending a First Tuesday mixer in Hamburg. And there's Swiss-based UPAQ.com, an application service provider that raised $8.1 million as a direct result of attending a First Tuesday event. And remember John Allen and his 20-second pitch? Turns out he did manage to hook up with a VC tonight and is crossing his fingers for a $5 million investment.
It's excellent. Collaboration is where it's at on the internet.
For Business Unusual, Valerie Morris, CNN, New York.
And that is Business Unusual. If you missed any of today's program, you can catch it on the web. Just log on to cnnfn.com and click on Business Unusual. I'm Rhonda Shapler. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye from New York.
For all the day's business news, watch the Moneyline News Hour with Stuart Varney and Willow Bay, weeknights at 6:30 Eastern right here on CNN.
Business Unusual is brought to you by Arthur Anderson.
In a year of historic beginnings and sensational endings, CNN was there. Through tragedies and battles, CNN was there. On television and online. Trusted, in-depth, and worldwide. CNN is the world's news leader.
Wolf Blitzer reports on the day's big stories on location and talks one-on-one with key newsmakers. Wolf Blitzer reports weeknights 8 Eastern on CNN.